This is Ghana, and it's bordered by Togo, Upper Volta, and the Ivory Coast. We fly into Accra, the capital city down here on the coast, and then we drive for about 9 hours over really bad roads up to the northern Ashanti region, which is where our site is for this second study. And what our results were in these people at the end of this study was that when we looked at biomarkers in the blood and urine, and those biomarkers are metabolites and adducts that we know give us an idea of how bioavailable aflatoxin is, or how much that person was exposed. When we looked at those, the biomarkers in urine for aflatoxin exposure and in blood were significantly decreased. And it was based on those people taking capsules that had just enough Novosil to just cause an effect, a minimal effective dose, just to be sure we were safe. We only used a minimal effective dose that we had seen that just barely caused an effect in animals. And that's what we used, and there was greater than a 40% decrease in exposure in the people in this trial.
Now, were the people that actually deliberately given aflatoxin, or were we more or less treating them for the aflatoxin that they normally?
Yeah, just treating them for the aflatoxin they're normally exposed to. When we selected them, we looked at about 500 people, and the first thing we did was the biomarkers of exposure, the bloods and urines, and we saw that everybody in this population had biomarkers in their blood, and they eat. Probably the reason for that is they eat a lot of peanuts and corn. These types of commodities can generally have higher levels, especially if they're moldy, and it seems that this toxin impacts the poorest people more so because they probably end up having to eat.
So that explains why you went to Africa, because they have to eat this food. It
Exactly.
happens to be both.
Exactly, and so they're what I would call a population at high risk for aflatoxicosis and liver cancer, and so there's a great need there, to be able to come up with something that is sustainable and environmentally benign, and even in this case, culturally acceptable. That was really a neat thing because, again, they eat clays. These clays aren't the same as Novosil, but they're used to eating clays. So clay ingestion or geophagy is culturally acceptable in these countries on the continent of Africa. And so I think that gave us also an edge in being able to have them accept this technology.